Hey, I'm Greg Junghans. I've been at Evo for 4 years, selling for 6, and manage one of the teams out here. So when it comes to prospecting, there's 3 things I think about. The first one is when I leave a house, most of the time you're not getting a sale, you're getting a no, but you can turn that no into some help. So one thing is I want to help, just ask the neighbors about new move-ins, anybody, if they know their names, just to get some information about the neighborhood. Second thing is I like to look around to know where there's signs for ADT. So if I have an ADT sign in sight, it's going to make it easier in my door approach because I can point that out. And then the third thing, I look for signs of life. You can kind of overcome some of the objections or avoid them just by prospecting better. So I will look for 2 cars in the driveway if it's early in the day, garage is open, or if you're in a area with more like lower income homes, there's usually just 1 carport. If there's 1 car in there, I know usually probably there's going to be a decision maker home. Same with if there's a car by the front door, that's usually a decision maker. So I hit those doors. The last thing, when I'm going up to the house, I just like to shake off my last door. Usually it was a no, so I just try to kind of reset mentally before I knock that door so I start fresh.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Are you the owner here of the house?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Perfect, I'll be quick. I'm Greg.
Okay.
I'm just working with ADT. We finished up with your neighbors, the Walkers, across the street. Do you know them?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Right when I knock the door, I usually step back 5 to 8 feet. I want to give the customer a little bit of room so they don't feel like I'm encroaching on their space. As soon as they open it, I usually don't go straight into saying who I am. A lot of times you'll get a not interested right away. So instead, I usually ask them a question if they're the owner, and then I say something, either a compliment or I'll mention the neighbors across the street, just so I build some credibility before I go into who I am and then what I'm doing. And that way I usually give myself 20, 30 seconds before I'm gonna lose their interest, and that's gonna give me enough time to pique their interest for the next part. So we just had some calls in this area, not necessarily the street, but the area.
Okay.
Some people have been messing with a few car doors, and then I guess some packages were missing off doorsteps.
Okay.
You might be aware of it, because how long have you lived here in the house?
Only since October, I just moved in.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's a really nice house.
Thanks.
Okay, yeah, the neighbors seem friendly too. They said somebody was newer over here. That must be you.
That's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I think you're the youngest owner here on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
So we've just been doing a lot of the cameras. You'll see on their house, they have a doorbell camera on theirs.
Yeah.
And so the reason they've gotten popular, people like to see when their packages are getting delivered and people are at their doors. And I'll show you how they look. Do you have iPhone or
Definitely Team iPhone.
Okay, heck yeah. So I'll show you, but basically, if you have somebody walking out here, it just texts your phone.
Okay.
So you can pull it up, watch what's going on, and it's kind of nice if you have something go on when you're not here. You can tell the package guy to go drop it off, leave it on the steps, and the best thing is it records it. So if you have something missing or something going wrong, you get the video of it, so you know who it is. And then we've had some, like even their house, they have some for their garage because they want to see the cars.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the backyard, it just depends on the house. And then we just tie it into an alarm, which I didn't see a sign. Was there a system here when you guys moved in?
I'm not quite sure. They might have had a system, but like I said, we just moved in, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So a lot of times these older homes had one.
Yeah.
Now they're on the phone. So it used to be a keypad. You had to like type a code in. You just use your phone. So you can actually set it when you're leaving in your car.
Oh, cool.
You can disarm it when you're coming in. So it's pretty easy to do it. And then we have some neighbors, they want to use like the smart home stuff. So unlock their door when they're not here, close your garage if you leave it open when you're driving down the road, change thermostat. So you can kind of do the whole 9 yards, but the biggest thing is the cameras, because that's really the main thing people want, you know, out in this area.
Yep.
So kind of long story short, just to get to my point, we're going to do a couple more houses out here just for advertising.
Okay.
You'll see the signs in the yards. We've already done a couple, but basically if we can get your house to qualify, we'll cover the entire upfront cost. So your install, equipment, activation, we'll cover everything so you don't have to pay anything up front.
So what's like the price range for this type of thing?
Yeah, good question.
Like we just bought this house, so.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you buy something, there's a lot of expenses. So it just depends on what we put in, and I'll show you, but like I said, we'll cover all the upfront cost as long as it qualifies. We just want an ADT sign out here in the front yard. There's a few other houses for sale in this neighborhood. And then there's some people with older cameras that are thinking about updating.
Okay.
We want them to end up using us.
And
so it just helps us a little bit. But I'll tell you what, this is what we use to qualify the house and see if we could even consider it.
Do you want to maybe like leave that info by so when my husband gets home?
Yeah.
We can look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So this is what we use to qualify. I'll write on the back. I'll leave that with you. You can go over it with him. But this is what it entails.
Okay.
So you can take a look at it. And what's kind of nice, so the only thing you have to have, what was your name, by the way?
It's Sarah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sarah, nice to meet you. And I'm Greg, like I said. So the only thing you have to have is this little panel.
Okay.
You see that on the top left?
Yeah.
That's the brain of it. As long as you've got that, you pick and choose what you want. And then we just customize it. We want to make sure you're happy with it.
Okay.
But I'm assuming if you're like the other neighbors, you've probably at least thought about a doorbell, right?
Yeah,
Or considered the
I mean,
idea.
I've considered it.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's a pretty safe neighborhood, so it's not like really needed, but
Yeah,
I've thought
is.
about it.
I was talking to your neighbor earlier. She kind of said the same thing. She's been here almost 30 years.
Right.
The reason that she has it on hers, one, I mean, she had a package, I guess, taken a few weeks ago. Just, it's little things, so it's kind of nice to have it. But I'll show you. So if we did a doorbell here, it's a 180 view. And so it would cover from that mailbox over to this side where this car is at.
Okay.
And then anytime someone's out here, it'll text you. So you'll get these little notifications, and I'll tell you the time they were out there. And then if you need to replay, you just tap on it. So you'll get the video, so you'll know who was there. But if we did a doorbell here, where else would you maybe want to see around
I definitely
the house?
think one over the garage would be nice because me and my husband do park our cars out here.
The garage?
Yeah.
Okay, why do you say that?
Well, just because of the cars. Like, I mean, like you said, if there's a lot of petty stuff going on, I don't want anyone messing with our cars.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
So yeah, what we typically do, if you want to follow me, well, you guys had an old camera here. So the last owners must have had one.
I guess they did.
Okay, perfect. So we can actually use the same hole, and then we'll just pop a new one on there.
Okay.
And it's a 160 view, so anything the doorbell misses, this is going to cover it.
Okay.
And I'll show you at night, because that's when a lot of the stuff happens out here. You'll be able to see it if it's dark enough, even when someone's out here on the driveway, even back by the street.
Okay.
You'll see it. So you'll be able to get a good view of them. And then it timestamps it, which is nice. So you can pull it back up. If the police need to see it because something kind of bad happened, then you're gonna have that that recording.
Okay.
And then they can kind of match it. And it helps when the neighbors have cameras too, and everyone does.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit safer.
Yep.
So let's see, that would cover here on the driveway.
Yeah.
And then that's gonna get your front door. So whole front yard's covered.
Yeah.
Are those the main spots, or is there anywhere else you'd want to
I
see?
kind of would like one on the back in the backyard too.
The back too?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I have 2 dogs, so
Okay. And yeah, I'll write that down. How's your backyard set up?
Yeah.
Because do you mind if we walk through really quick? It's kind of
Sure.
cool out here.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
Yeah. Sorry, I mean, we have people over and I've been working the last few days, so it's not the cleanest.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, perfect. Just through here?
Yeah.
Yeah, here we can take a look at it real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so for the transition, the main thing you have to remember is it has to make sense to the customer while you get there. If it makes sense to you, it's gonna make sense to them. So my favorite is to do a doorbell chime box and have to go look at it inside the house, because that's how we wire up the doorbell for power. That way it's not a wireless, they don't have to charge it. In this specific video, there was no doorbell on the house, so I had to find out another way. She was asking about a camera in the backyard, and it's a lot easier to get into the backyard and either get in the house through the back door, or in this case, the front door. And so you have to be three things. It has to make sense. It has to be a assumptive transition, and you have to be the one to move. And you'll notice that in the video. We get inside the house in this instance. When I'm inside, what I do is I always put my binder down on a table. That way, regardless of what happens out on that backside, I have to come back in to get my binder. So then I'm back in the house and I can sit down. And so back here, where's the main area you want to see on the house?
I really want to see this back door.
Back door here?
Yeah.
Okay, why is that?
Well, I mean, going in and out, that's our point of entry. So if someone were to be they were in the backyard, you know, I want to know if someone's back here who's not supposed to be back here.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So we'd put one more here, and it's the same as the front. It's pretty wide. So it'll get this whole back area.
Okay.
And then even if someone comes over here where you have your nice shed,
Yeah.
you're going to be able to see it. So if they're messing with that door, that's
Okay.
going to text you right away.
Cool.
And you can yell through that camera at them, tell them, hey, get off my property. I'm calling the police. Let them
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
So they'll be alerted right away.
Okay.
And so that's going to get this whole backside, your front door, and then your driveway. So that's going to get around the whole house. Are those
Okay.
the main areas here?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So then, yeah, we'll just tie into the security on the inside, but it's a little easier. I can write it up. Do you have a counter in there? It is like kind of chilly out here.
Yeah,
Do you
it
mind if we
is.
walk back in?
Yeah.
So for the presentation, you have to have a flow through it, and you want to do the same thing every single time. Some guys have a different method. For me, when I'm looking at the pamphlet, you'll see on the top row, you got the security. On the bottom left, you've got the smart home, and then the bottom right, you have the cameras. I like to start with the cameras because I'm still outside, and I'm typically talking about the cameras before I get in. The nice thing about doing that is, one, you're building a lot of value, and so it's not going to be that hard to get in because the customer is already really interested. So in this instance, I did doorbell, I do the outdoor cameras, and I typically don't sell an indoor, so those are the two I hit on. And then I try to transition in, and 90% of the time you're gonna get in after you've done that. The next thing is I hit on the security. So we'll do the doors, the windows, and then I hit on smoke detector. If it's an old person, then I'll do emergency pendant or the little key fob. And then the last thing, and I typically don't sell it too much, but when we're financing, it's kind of nice to just add some extra commission, is talk about smart home. One thing I do though, I don't try to oversell it. So I act like I don't care if they get it. That way I'm not very salesy. And if they want a smaller package, I never try to upsell them. And I feel like the customer is more at ease that way, and they'll trust you more. So it's going to make the close a little bit easier. Perfect. And then, like I was saying, so we'll cover all the doors. And how many doors do you have here
I
on the
have
house?
3 doors,
Three,
front, back, and then one in from the garage.
Okay, perfect. And so we'll put these little magnets on the door and then the frame. So if you have somebody like try to kick it open, that's going to trip the alarm.
Okay.
Call the police. But it is nice. Do you and your husband have any kids?
Yeah, we have 2.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah.
Nice. So a lot of the neighbors, the moms, they like the nanny mode. So when your kids, if they get home from school, it'll text you when they open the door. Are they like school age or
8 and 3?
8 and 3.
Yeah.
Okay. I know 3-year-olds kind of a tough age.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're opening the door yet, but that's when they like to
Oh
start.
yeah, they're
bringing
slamming the door. Yeah.
Okay. As soon as they open the door, it texts your phone what door's open.
Okay.
So if they decide to try to run out into the street, as soon as that door's open, you're gonna know.
Okay.
So you can go out there and save them. But that'll cover the 3 doors. And then are there any windows you'd be worried about, or mostly just doors here?
These windows for sure, and these back windows. Not really worried about the upstairs. I mean, who's going to put a ladder and try to climb up?
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, if we do these, what we put on, it's a glass break sensor. And so it senses breaking glass. Most of the time, if people try getting into windows, they're locked. Do you keep all yours locked? Unless you're
yeah.
in the summertime having them open. So instead of them trying to pry it open, they'll actually break the glass, unlock it, and pop it up.
Oh, okay.
And so when they break that glass, it'll trip it as soon as the glass breaks. So
Okay.
before their hand's even in your house, it's going off.
Okay.
So a little bit more responsive, but it covers, how many square feet is your house?
A little over 2,000.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So yeah, these will cover about 2,500 square feet.
Oh, okay.
So if we put one in the middle here, it's going to cover those back windows, this one, and then your back door's got glass in it too.
Yeah.
A lot of people that try to get in, they'll use the back door, and they'll break the glass and then reach in and open it.
Okay.
So it's going to cover that glass too.
Okay,
so
cool.
you're like double protected.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing in your wholesale, but especially in the presentation, is the next step, the customer doesn't, so you have to transition. So you'll notice when I talk about the panel, I'm the one that's gonna first ask a question, and that's my transition to get to the next step. So doorbell, ask a question, outdoor camera, ask a question, get in the house, ask a question, get to the table. And so I'm using a question as my transition to each piece. And then you have dogs too. Do they stay inside?
No, yeah, they do stay inside.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing, when you guys moved in, did you guys change out your smoke detectors, or are they the originals?
I think they're originals, unless my husband did it and I wasn't here, but.
Yeah, I saw one over here. That one's
Yeah.
old. Smoke detectors, they need to be updated every 10 years. And it actually will save you on your homeowner's insurance. I know that's pretty expensive at first.
Yeah.
This will give you a little discount.
Okay.
But what's nice is they're monitored. So if you ever leave a stove on, or like your hair's pretty straight today, so if you like leave your hair straightener on accidentally and it catches fire, it's going to go off and it's going to alert the fire department.
Oh, cool.
So they can come out here and obviously help anybody get out that they need.
Yeah.
But especially your pets.
Yeah.
No one wants to come home to like a crispy critter. You
Oh,
know?
no.
Because they're kind of like family, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we'll cover fire, police, and then the cameras are covering the front yard and the backyard. So you're covered all around.
So, like, how much is this going to cost us? You know, because that's kind of a big
absolutely.
concern. Yeah.
Yeah, budgets are is a big thing when you get a house.
Mortgages are not fun.
Yep. Yeah, that's why a lot of people, they hold this stuff off and they don't do it for a while.
Yeah.
So that's why we'll come around every once in a while, give you a deal so you can actually afford it. But yeah, here, I'll show you how they break down. Because have you priced one of these out before? Or do you know what they usually run?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Actually, I think my husband was looking into Vivint a little bit, and they were
cool.
kind of pricey.
Yeah, were they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of known for that.
Yeah.
What was his reason for even looking?
Well, I mean, new homeowners in a new neighborhood, you know. And then too, like, we heard some crazy stories about the previous owners.
Here?
Yeah.
Really? Like what?
Well, I mean, they had a SWAT team here at one point. And,
Seriously?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the neighbors didn't tell me. They said it's so safe, but.
It is a safe neighborhood, but I think this was the house, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll show you.
The house full of crazy stuff.
Okay.
Until we moved in.
Well, it looks nice now.
Oh,
so
thank you.
I'm sure the house is glad you're the owner.
Yeah.
But yeah, with any system, you got 4 costs. So there's the equipment, the install, the activation, and the monitoring. Our budget that we've got for these homes out here is $3,000. And so, like I was saying before, as long as it qualifies.
So you'll like give me $3,000 for the equipment?
So we front the cost. So we'll front the cost of the equipment. You don't have to pay anything up front.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the install and the activation, they're usually $200 a piece. But where this stuff's wireless, it is pretty easy to put it in, and our techs work with us.
Okay.
So if you can be flexible with their schedule, we'll cover the install because we're already out here.
Yeah.
And then for the activation, I don't know why they're still letting us do it, but they had a special for Christmas a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
The last house I just did, they still let me cover it.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know when they're turning it off, but we're covering that. So literally the only thing you have to pay is just the monitoring. That's it.
Okay.
So after I've done my price drop, now is the time to qualify them, and they know a range of what the price is going to be, whether it's 60 to 80, 80 to 100. And so this is where I get them to fill out a qual card. We use them in our office. One, when they fill it out, it's a soft close because they're doing something for me. And then I'm able just to copy that information down so I don't have to get too much from them. The 2 things that people struggle with sometimes are the birthday and the last 4. So you just need a reason for why you're getting it. For the the birthday, you just ask them if they're over 18, you need to make sure. For the last 4, you need to make it make sense. Are they on the deed of the house? You just have to verify that, and then you grab the last 4. But the simpler you make it, the easier it is. And then your birthday was 3/28/95? Perfect. And then just the other thing, I know you said you own the house. Is your name on the deed?
Yeah.
Okay.
My husband.
You and your husband? Okay.
Too.
They just have to make sure we got one of yours. What's the last 4 of your social?
Are you doing like a hard pull on my credit?
No. So they just have to make sure, one, you own it, make sure ADT's not in the house, make sure your name's on the deed.
Yeah, it's 3883.
Cool. So yeah, and then, just scribble, that was your name. Sweet. And then, yeah. Heck yeah. So you can see here, we got a green check mark. So the house qualifies. Congratulations.
Nice.
First one on this street that they've said yes to. They kind of like the newer homeowners because they expect you to stay here a little bit longer, you know? Okay, so after I qualify the customer, I always recap. So for me, I'm gonna go through exactly what they're getting, and that's gonna show them, it's like I'm writing it down. Basically, it's a quote, but it's writing everything down for them so they see it typed into the iPad. And then I want to break it down so they know exactly what they're getting. One, this is going to make me more credible because when I'm showing them, they're going to believe it, they see it. And then they know how the financing is going to work. Again, we're planting another seed in their mind of it's financing without saying it's financing. So I let them know they don't pay anything up front. I let them know the monthly cost is this one's $78. And then what I do is I let them know that over time this is gonna drop. So after the 60 months, it drops, goes down to just the monitoring rate of 58, and then that price is fixed. And at that point, I still haven't said anything else about financing, but they can see on here that the equipment is a different bill. So it's just like when you buy a phone bill, then part of it goes to the phone and part to the service. They're used to that, and so it's usually not a big issue as long as you don't make it a big issue when you go to finance. So yeah, I'll show you how they break down because it sounds like you and your husband have looked into it, quite a bit. So for a full system like this, we've got the panel. That's going to go just on a wall over an outlet. We'll cover your 3 doors like we talked about. The cell chip, that's going to go into the panel. So if we get like bad weather and the internet and power goes out, these cameras will continuously record. So you won't lose footage where any other camera you go with, it's not going to catch it.
Okay.
So it helps a little bit. And then we'll cover the windows like you talked about for the glass break. We're going to do a smoke detector so you keep your dog safe. Make sure you don't burn the house down. And then we've got the doorbell camera for the front door. And then we've got the 2 cameras on the garage and then the back. And does that sound like that covers everything there? Sweet. So I'll show you. And this is kind of the nice part. You can see here the total cost of the equipment is $2,700 for the whole thing. Since you qualified, we take care of all of it. You don't have to pay anything to start it, like I was saying before.
Okay.
And then your monthly, and this is a good part, comes out to just $91 a month. But the cool thing is this is fixed. So like I was saying before, that's going to stay the same rate. And what they're going to do is fix that for the first 60 months, 5 years, and then they're going to drop it, and it'll go all the way down to just $58 a month after that.
Okay.
And then you're locked in at that rate. So a couple tips for financing. 3 main reasons you want to do it. 1, it benefits us, right? As a salesman, we're making on average $3 to $4, sometimes even like $500 extra per sale. So we can make our commission way higher, and that's a plus. Number 2, it gets the customer more equipment, and if they have more equipment, there's more value. So they're okay paying a higher price because they get more, but it also is gonna keep them from wanting to cancel, and then it cuts down on attrition because they're paying for something that they use. If they have 3 cameras and a door lock and a thermostat, they use it every day instead of just having 1 doorbell. And the last thing for financing, it helps the customer. Yeah, they pay for the equipment, but in the long run, it's gonna save them some money because their monitoring is cheaper. So if I were you, finance as many as you can. And remember, the biggest thing with it is just like your whole sales process, keep it simple. If it's simple, they're not gonna object to it, and don't let them know there's any other option, and then they're just gonna have to do it. So it doesn't matter how long you keep it after that, it's fixed, it does not change. But what's cool is this is a lifetime warranty. A lot of companies and cameras, it's technology, so they don't last forever. We'll pay for anything that needs to be updated or fixed. So if you have a camera that's giving you a little bit of a fuzzy issue or something, we'll fix it for free.
Okay.
And then of course you just moved here, but if you do like a remodel or you move in the future, we'll move it with you. It's all wireless, so you can take it with you. But it sounds like we got everything covered. The only thing they want from you guys is to put an ADT sign in the front yard. We want every neighbor that we set up to have that, which is that a pretty easy thing for you to do?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And just the other thing, because you are newer and there's some other new move-ins out here, if you meet the neighbors and they ask you why you got ADT, why would you say tell them you got it?
I would say probably because of the deal. I mean, comparing it to Vivint's price, it is way less. And then I get everything I want as far as cameras, doorbell, sensors, and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And all I ask is that if you give them that info and they like the idea of it, give them my name and number.
Okay.
I work off commission, so if I can help them out, I'll give you some free stuff. So I'll give you $100. It's just a little bonus.
Nice.
So basically pay for your system.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a side hustle.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that'll cover it because we got the 3 doors, the windows, fire department tied in, doorbell, garage, backyard. Does that cover everything? Sweet. So yeah, I'll send a copy of this to your email. And then what's a good email for you?
It's my first name, last name,
Okay.
133@gmail.com.
Perfect. And then let's see, the other thing, I had your primary phone number here.
Yep.
And that was a 318-794-3208. So if the system goes off, they're going to give you a call to alert you that something's going on. For some reason, if they can't reach you, we have a backup contact.
Yeah.
And who would you want that? Would that be your husband?
Yep.
Okay. And what's his name?
Yep. His name is Mark.
Mark?
Yeah.
Same last name?
Yep.
Sweet. And then what's his number?
It's 318-284-6524.
Okay, awesome. And then just the other thing, they want to make sure that the system's safe, so when they do call you, they want to make sure they're talking to either you or your husband.
Yeah.
So they use what they call a verbal password,
Okay.
just something really easy to remember. Like most people do pet name, sports team, but what would be something easy to remember?
Yeah, let's do one of my dog's names, Honey.
Honey.
Yeah.
Perfect, that's great. So great, I'll save that. And your husband, you think he'll remember that, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, let me see. I'll pull my tech schedule up here because like I was saying, they're working out here with us, but
Okay.
what's your schedule kind of looking like over the next week or so?
Well, we have some dinner plans this evening, but pretty free until I have to pick up the kids at 3.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Sweet. I'll check with them and see. And then let's see. So the other thing, Smart Home Pay, they're the ones that take care of all this equipment. So they just need to make sure I put all your information in here right. And so I'll have you verify that for me.
Okay.
And it's just the name, all that stuff. And then they just have to verify it's you. So they're going to ask for the social and just type it in there. So just to recap, 3 things that you should take away from this video. 1, make sure to keep it simple. If you can understand it real easily, the customer can understand it really easily. 2, you want to transition every single step because you know the next step, the customer has no idea. And if you stop, they're going to stop you. But if you transition, most of the time they let you keep going. And the last thing, try to finance every single deal. You'll have a few that you can't, but most of the time you'll be able to, and you're going to make way more money. And you can sell 100 accounts non-financed, 100 accounts financed, and your commission's almost 50% more. So be the guy that's making a lot more because back end's a lot more fun. We'll see you on the doors.